every luxury car brand that refused Formula One. F1 Speed? Explained. Tonight, we follow a trail of super luxury badges that never lined up on an F1 grid. And I'll reveal the one boardroom decision that, according to insiders, would have flipped a modern title fight if a certain luxury marque had actually signed on. Stay to the end for the exact moment that deal died and what it means for the next regulation era. What you'll get. In plain English, we'll unpack why some of the world's most exclusive brands chose not to race in Formula One. Economics, brand positioning, technology transfer, and boardroom politics. Using clear examples you can spot in the next Grand Prix broadcast. Why F1 isn't a simple build it and win. F1 success is a three-headed monster. A hybrid power unit with ruthless reliability, a chassis that balances drag and downforce inside a narrow setup window, and a factory operation that can iterate all season without breaking the cost cap. Even for giants, matching that cadence is brutal. For boutique luxury makers building dozens, maybe a few hundred, cars a year, the scale problem alone can swallow the dream before a wind tunnel model sees daylight. The money math no one likes to say out loud. There's romance in saying, we race on Sunday to sell on Monday. But in ultra-luxury, the sales funnel isn't volume, it's mythology. The customer buying a multi-million-dollar hypercar often wants craftsmanship and rarity, not a season-long TV marathon of DNFs while a small team learns the ropes. Meanwhile, F1's development race demands hundreds of staff and nine-figure annual commitment over multiple years. That's before designing a power unit, negotiating a customer engine, or building a wind tunnel program capable of finding a tenth of a second every few weeks. If your brand positioning is, we make art that happens to be fast, racing can be a distraction. If your brand positioning is, we industrialize speed, it can be the core of your identity. Luxury brands on the first path routinely step off the F1 escalator before they take the first ride. Case Study A, the Boutique Paradox. Some names thrive by being small on purpose. Their cars are rolling sculptures, their factories look more like ateliers than plants, and their owners expect concierge-level attention. In that world, the biggest brag is the weave in your carbon and the machined edges on your titanium, not pit wall strategy calls. A factory racing program would require a second company on top of the first one. Different talent, different cadence, different cash burn. Even if the CFO could swallow the budget, racing forces a brutal kind of transparency, lap times and points, that can dent an ultra-exclusive mystique if the results aren't elite from day one. And day one results in F1 are almost never elite. Here's the twist. Boutique makers still love the language of performance. They'll run invitational track programs, deliver customer track specials, and talk about lap time deltas, but that is carefully contained theater, not the 24-race scrutiny of a world championship. It preserves brand control while scratching the speed itch. Case Study B, the right racing wrong series choice. A few luxury marques have a century-long romance with endurance racing. Long stint durability and grand touring elegance align perfectly with their customers and their design language. The visuals are different. Night stints under floodlights, gravel traps, champagne at dawn. For those brands, a return on storytelling is stronger at Le Mans than at a high-frequency, high-attrition sprint series. That's not fear of F1, it's fit. Endurance racing rewards resilience and comfort at speed, the same virtues their clients want on the road, while F1 rewards relentless iteration inside a highly standardized rulebook. Choosing one isn't refusing racing, it's selecting a stage that mirrors your product's soul. Case Study C, the boardroom near miss. Modern F1 entries don't just hinge on engineering, they hinge on governance. Control, equity, naming rights, engine intellectual property, and long-term power unit alignment can make or break a deal. In the last few seasons, one blue-chip luxury badge came to the door, held the handle, then walked away when the control structure didn't match its brand playbook. The lesson: without the right equity stake and technical authorship, even a perfect marketing marriage can end with a polite "not now." That's not technophobia, that's risk management. Technology transfer, when F1 helps, and when it doesn't. If your road cars are defined by outrageous engines, artisan interiors, and one-off personalization, F1's standardized architecture leaves fewer direct carryovers than you might expect. The software, simulation, and operational discipline certainly translate, but the crown jewel parts buyers brag about, bespoke engines, unconventional materials, radical aero freedom, are constrained by the rulebook. For a house that lives on Audacity, a different series or no series at all may deliver cleaner, more ownable innovation. The image equation, why never can be smarter than not yet. Luxury runs on permanence. A single season of struggles can echo longer than you think, among clients who expect perfection, not a development arc. The irony is that F1 punishes perfectionism. It rewards speed of imperfection. Ship the upgrade, test it on Friday, risk it on Sunday, repeat. Some luxury boards would rather avoid a public learning curve entirely than gamble their aura on grid world realities like parc fermé handcuffs, safety car coin tosses, or a rookie pit crew. The safest way to keep the mystique invincible is to never put it on a timing screen. Myth bust? They're scared of competition. It's not fear, it's fit. Many of these brands compete fiercely where it serves the brand best. Private customer programs, time attack demonstrations, or endurance projects that match their buyers' tastes. They also obsess over materials science and craft in ways a single-spec ecosystem would mute. In short, they don't duck competition. They pick the battlefield. The cost cap mirage. Why today's F1 isn't suddenly affordable? Yes, F1's cost cap reshaped spending, but it didn't make entry cheap. The cap applies to specific categories and leaves hefty out-of-cap spends on engines and marketing. Even capped, the culture is a treadmill. CFD cycles, wind tunnel hours, weekly freight, and an army of specialists. If your road car margins rely on artisanal throughput, you cannot amortize that treadmill the way a mass performance brand can. The spreadsheet still says no. A modern pit stop looks effortless because it hides an obsessive system. Parts lifing spreadsheets, torque checks by the minute, choreography down to wrist angles. That system has to scale to 24 races, long-haul logistics, and 2 development streams at once, current car and next year's chassis. It's a second company. Unless you already run a motorsport giant, the operational delta will stun you. First, DRS is like a coupon. Great value, but it won't buy you a pass if you show up in the wrong aisle. Second, the undercut is the only time being under truly puts you over. The truth is that some luxury houses are better storytellers when they don't have to share the mic with a timing loop. The quiet upside, how not racing still sells speed. Ironically, refusing F1 can sharpen a brand's credibility when the alternative is a half-baked program. Limited-run track specials, engineering deep dives with customers, test track access days, and curated film pieces can build more desire than a midfield season. You control the canvas, the lighting, and the lines. Just like the car. When a team delays a stop to protect from the undercut, watch the in-lap temperatures and the out-lap traffic delta. When a DRS train forms, note how often the leader is protecting tires rather than defending with cornering speed. These dynamics explain why a boutique maker might choose the clean theater of a private test over the chaos of a safety car restart. So here it is. The inflection point was control. A marquee luxury brand explored F1 power unit alignment with a top team, but the equity split and technical authorship didn't match the board's threshold. Without those, the value story unraveled. The deal cooled, the brand stayed out, and a championship's long-term engine politics shifted overnight. The lesson for fans, when you hear "we're evaluating," translate it to "can we own enough of this to make it worth the risk?" Quick FAQ, but didn't some luxury names race before? Yes, history is complicated. Brands evolve, ownership changes, and strategic horizons shift. Some luxury names have dabbled in engines without running full works teams. Others dominated different forms of racing and never chased F1 glory. The through line is not courage, it's calculus. Brand calculus. If you ran an ultra-luxury marque today, would you enter F1 under the current rules, or would you chase endurance glory instead? What would your first-year KPI be? Points, podiums, or brand lift with your core clients? And which decision would you make if you could own the engine IP but not the chassis program? Actionable takeaways for race day. Spot undercut traps by watching how teams prep tires 3 corners before the pits. Track DRS trains to see where aero wake suffocates pace. And remember, operational excellence beats romance, on the wall and in the boardroom. If this breakdown saves you a weekend of rabbit holing through press releases, tap like and subscribe so you catch the next strategy lab right after the Grand Prix. If you want early notes, members-only polls, and behind-the-scenes strategy docs, tap join. If this helped you watch like a race engineer, a super thanks funds the next telemetry visual and track map. Either way, I'm grateful, and the algorithm learns this belongs in front of more F1 fans.